Hi YouTube, this is DaisyPop8989 over here with my latest Yugioh deck profile. Before we get started, I would like to say that I have a playset of dual terminal Dragoni Phalanxes for sale on eBay. Go and check out the description below for the link and bid or buy it. So, without further ado, here's the deck. I'm bringing today's my updated version of Disaster Dragons. First off is 3 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons. These are the backbones of the deck. Allows you to make your swarms, and they're pretty big beat sticks, so obviously you would run 3. Next up is 3 Red Eyes Wyverns. Basically, these allows you to revive your Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons when they're in your graveyard. You have to run 3, no other reason why not to. Next up is 3 Quackmare Dragos. These are the star beaters of the deck. They're 1900, so they can go toe-to-toe with us pesky Thunder Kings. They can get over practically most level 4 monsters without any problems, and they also have the added bonus of preventing light or dark monsters from being special summoned, so it allows they're great against Chaos Plans, Light Swarms, any Chaos deck, Doppeljunk decks, and they're also great against GBs since they stop the Geysaris plays, and they're extremely good against Frognarks and Fisho TK decks since it stops the, the Battle Faders, Gores, or Tragodias from coming out and allows you to push for game. Also, they're great for against 6 Samurais and stops their Shans from coming out, which is extremely important. Next up is 3 Mass Dragons. These are the recruiters of your deck. Basically, these guys can help you adapt to whatever the situation on the field is. Grabs you a Totem Dragon, a Tuner, or an Explorer Dragon, or what have you, depending on what you need. Awesome card. I always run 3. Some people like 2. I feel that 3 is the best. Next up is 2 Light and Darkness Dragons. This is where I'm changing the build up a bit. Basically, these guys are what me and my friends call the ultimate cock blocker of the deck. Basically, it negates practically anything, if everything, Gores, Tragodia, or anything in the graveyard. Really awesome card, plus it has that free revival effect, so really good card to run. Next up is 2 Totem Dragons. I've upped the count to 2 now since I'm running 2 Light and Darkness Dragons now. These are the Treeborn Frogs of the deck, and they also act as 2 tributes for a Dragon-type monster, so awesome card to run. I would love it. I'm so far liking it too. Next up is 2 Delta Flyers. These are the tuners of the deck. Basically, raise the level of another face-up monster you control by 1, and that's it. Basically allows you to make your level 8 Synchro Summons with your Quackmare Dragos or your Red Eyes Wyverns. Good card, really. Next up is 2 Explorer Dragons. I've upped the count from 1 to 2 because Miracle Gemini decks are getting popular now, especially since they just won YCS Anaheim. And these guards are great for getting rid of those pesky monsters, such as Thunder Kings or like Colossal Fighter or anything else that is really annoying you. Awesome card, loving him at 2. And last, Primaterial Dragon. A common sense to run it, protects your monsters, and also has the added bonus of protecting your life points from effect damage. Actually, I remember playing against a Frog and Arc deck. He summoned Caius while I had him on the field, and he targeted himself, and thinking that he had game, but I just told him Prime Material Dragon's effect allows me to gain the life points, so that was awesome. So that's it for the monsters. Next up are the spells. 3 gold sarcophagus. They ever since the ban list has upped these to 3. Trying it out at 3. Great card. Allows you to grab anything from your deck. Basically, I use these to grab the future fusions and what have you, depending on whatever I need on hand. Next up is 2 MSCs. Back row removal. Common sense to run these. Next up is Future Fusion. Literally, this is what allows you to make your explosive plays. This is Foolish Burial on crack for Disaster Dragons. Just basically activate this, reveal 5-headed dragon, and dump your 5 dragons, and basically revive 1 or 2 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons on that same turn. So, really awesome card. without this card, the deck can't even function, or the deck loses a lot of speed. Next up is Burial. Great card for recycling your Wyverns and your Totem Dragons. Dark Hole, common sense to run it. Book of Moon. Still love this card, even though it's limited to one. It's still great to use it to flip your Light and Darkness Dragon back face down and reset its attack and defense. So, really awesome card. Next up is Giant Trunade. Common sense to run it. Allows your OTKs and allows you to make your big plays without worrying about back row. Monster Reborn. Common sense to run it. You should never drop it until Konami bans it. Next up is Two Solemn Warnings. Common sense to run these. Great for negating your opponent's monster summonings, especially when you're preventing them from making their big pushes. Next up is 2 7 Tools of the Bandit. I've upped the count from 1 to 2. I've tossed out my extra Trap Stun for a second one because 7 Tools of the Bandit is awesome for negating pesky cards like Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment, and especially when your opponent pays like half their life points and they're like reduced to like barely anything, and you only have to pay 1,000 life points. And plus, it's awesome for getting around those trap stun plays and like any other trap cards that your opponent activates, and they can change your trap stun, and where 7 tools, your opponent has less likely chance of chaining to it. Next up is Mirror Force. Common sense to run it. Love this card. Basically, if you can destroy multiple monsters with a card, you should run it. Next up is Solemn Judgment. Common sense to run it. D-Prison. Common sense to run it. Get around those pesky Stardust dragons and what have you. Torrential Tribute. Love this card. Great card to run since, 6 Samurais, and basically they... you can activate this when they special summon their monsters, and you activate it before they synchro summon, so basically prevents them from getting their Shiams. Next up is Burst Breath, Disaster Dragons, Icarus Attack. Basically, this card is awesome since you tribute a dragon type monster and destroy all face up monsters whose defense is equal or lower than the dragon's attack. And practically most monsters nowadays have extremely low defense compared to their attack. So you can like blow up your mass dragon and wipe the board of your opponent's monsters while keeping your monsters on the field. So great card to run. And last is Bottomless Trap Hole. Liking this card. People are starting not to run it anymore, but I still think this card still merits running one in the deck. Next up are the Synchros. Ally Justice Catastor, common sense to run it. Bryanak, common sense. Iron Chain Dragon. Liking this card, especially when since Goya Guardian's gone. Next up, Explorer Dragonwing. Great level 7 dragon synchro monster. Basically, it allows you to get over those pesky light monsters and whatever monsters your opponent's dealing with, and plus it has great effect burn damage. Ancient Fairy Dragon, great card against Dragonides and Gravekeepers. Black Rose Dragon, blowing up the field is always nice. Thought Ruler Archwing, great card to run. Colossal Fighter, Darkened Dragon, Scrap Dragon, Red Dragon Archwing, great card for getting over a wall of monsters and monsters such as XX Saber, Pachul, or Spirit Reapers. And last but not least is 2 Stardust Dragons, great card to run, and 5-Headed Dragon. So that's the deck, YouTube. Go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. I appreciate some feedback on the deck, and enjoy, and peace out.